Hello students, today we are going to see the topic class of array and array of class object. Let's start with the topic. So basically what is the concept of class of array and array of class object is when we use the data member in the class. We know that data member and member functions are there inside class, and when we use array with the data member of class. For example, here we can see there is a class named students, and inside the class we can see the data member name and roll number and member function display. So name here is a data member and this is array. So when array is used with the data member, we can say it as array in the class. Same way, when we use array with the class object, so here is the class, and in main function how we create object, first the class name and then the name of object. So student is our class name and then the object, that is stu. So here stu is our object, but here we can see 3. This is again array used with object. So this is the concept of array of class object or array of object. So in this case what happen, when we create array, when we make array use with the data member name, then we get there is 2 data member, one is roll and other is name. In name we will have same type of data, that is characters, which we can have within 15, less than 15. So here what we have to do, roll number will take 1 memory space which will be of 2 bytes, as we know that integer takes 2 bytes, and here because there is 15 blocks and each of characters, so it will take as character take 1 byte, so it will take total 15 bytes in the memory. But this was for the data members, but when we create as we know that this memory space is allotted when we make the object. So when we, if here it would be stu without array, then we would have got this roll and name, this much space, and which we can access using, because it is a private, so we can use it, access it using the member functions. But for accessing these we would have used stu dot roll, stu dot name, like that, or we can call it using display, then stu dot display. This is how we do. But when we create object array, then there is 3. So according to the array indexing, it will go from 0, 1 and 2, and this will create this roll number, 3 roll numbers and 3 names, because one object was accessing roll number and name. So there is now 3, so there will be space in the memory, one more roll number and name and one more roll number and name. So this all together we got for stu object array with size 3, array size is 3. So how we will access it? So if we directly want to access, if it would be in public, then it would go for stu, this first location indexing will start from 0 and then 1 and then 2. So if we want the contents, first roll number will be in this, so the name of this will be stu index 0 dot roll, and for this section stu 0 dot name, and for this again stu1 for this roll number and name, and this will go with stu2. So this is how array will be used with object. Now we will see with the program how it will work. So this example is for taking 3 roll number and name. We can use this. Now let's see with the example. Using this example, now we will see how we can use array in the class and array with the class object. This is the program to take input from the user and display that. So we are taking input name and roll number. So the members inside the class student is name and roll number, and we want the data to be taken from the user. So we are taking input function to receive data and display function to display the same data. So now here you can see this is public. All the members are kept in public, that is name, roll and display, but the input function is kept in private. So in previous video we have seen if something is kept in private, then that particular member can only be accessed by the member functions of that same class. That means display function can access all the members now because it is in public and input is in private. So we cannot access input function using object, but display can be accessed using object. Okay, so now next is input function. We have defined the input function within the class. So here only we have opened the curly braces. Now to input the data, that is name and roll number, we have learnt in previous video how to use text color. So we are using yellow color. So we want enter your name to be printed in yellow. So we have used cprintf. Now after this message is displayed, we want user to give us their name. So we have used cin because the user will use the keyboard to enter. So if when keyboard is used to enter, so we will write cin and this symbol, and then that name, whatever name will be given by user, let it be Rita, then Rita will be saved in variable name. Next is cout endl, it will move to next line, and then cprintf enter your roll number. So this section is also taken in cprintf, so this will be also printed in yellow color. If we would have written cout and then write the same statement, then it will show as we have without the colors. We have seen in many programs without using cprintf. So after this message, again we want user after reading this enter your roll number, will enter the roll number. So again we will use cin and then roll. This variable, the members are used to receive the value. So in name we will get the name, and in roll we will get the roll number. Let Rita is saved here, so Rita will also enter her roll number. Then maybe she will type let it be 11, then that 11 will be saved in roll. Now cout endl, again it will move to the next line and it is closed. So this is the body of input function. So when we will call input function, these things will execute. Okay, now here body of class is closed. It was started from here and it is closed here. Now next is display function. Display function is also member of student class, but we are defining it outside the class. So to define outside the class, as we have discussed that we want display to display the details, so we will keep those things in it. And to define outside, we have to take the return type, then the class name. So class name is student, and then scope resolution, and then display. So display function definition will start from here, curly braces open. And here first thing we are doing, because before displaying the things we want it to be initialized, so first we will call the input function. We are calling in display only because in while doing the private and public example, we have used the member function to call other private members functions. So public is display is in public, so we are using display function to access private function, that is input. So we are first calling input. So when we will call input, all the things in input function will be executed. So name will be initialized, roll number will be initialized, means some value will be entered into it by the user, and then we want it to be printed. So to print it, next statement, again we are using colors, so green color, and name colon. So name colon will be printed in green color, and then cout will also print the things. So name is there, so name is without double quotation, that means it is a variable. So variable will not be printed, but the variable value will be printed. So what is in name? Now for example, what we have discussed, we have taken as Rita. So name, instead of name, Rita will be printed, and endl. Next line, and cprintf. So cprintf, now current color is green, so roll number will be printed in green, and again cout roll number 11 was there. We have taken example, so roll, instead of roll, it is a variable, so 11 will be printed here, endl, and closed. So this was the definition of display. Now let's come to calling part. So execution of program start from main. So because we are using now the concept of class, we need to create object. So how to create object? Student, and then whatever you will write will be object. So here class name, and then this is object. So stu is object, and using object we can call our members that which are in public. So as the concept we have seen how we have written, so we will call only the display function, because when we will call the display, inside display we have called the private member first. So when we will call display, then display we will go to display, and then input function is called. So now because input function is called, so we will move to input, and what will happen? These things will be executed. So these all thing will be executed, and next after that it will again come back to next line, that is this whole section to display that things will be executed. And finally when display whole thing will be executed, control will again move to next line, that is get ch. So get ch and close. So this is the end of the program. This is how the program is. Now let's see what is the output. So first input function was called using display. So see, the first statement is enter your name. Let's type one name, let's type Rita only. So Rita, enter, and roll number 11, enter. Now you can see first the value is entered, and again which was kept in input function, and then the value is displayed which was kept in display function. Alright, so this is the output. Now we have seen use of array with the class data member. Let's see the example of array with object, class object. So this is the same program. Now we have taken details for one student and one student's roll number. Now we want it to be for 3 students and 3 roll number. So now we will use array with class object. This object for this program, when we have taken just stu one object, then what it gave us, space for all the data members, that is one roll number space and space for name. But now we want it to be for 3, so we will use array here with array size 3. So now we have got space in memory for 3 names and 3 roll number for the data members of the class. So now we have to do same thing 3 times. That means we have to input the details 3 times and display it 3 times. So now we will write here for loop. We will use int I is equal to 1. From 1 it has to go till 3 and I plus plus, and inside for loop we will call this, function, but because we have used the array in object, so we will write here, because indexing will start from 0 to 1, so we will start the indexing from 0 to 2. So how it will go? First the value in I will be 0, then in next round it will be 1, and in last one it will be 2. So three times it will do. So here in object we will write I. Okay, and close the loop. So let's see how it will go. First of all, I is 0, it is true, incremented postfix 1. So now it will come here, it will see stu0 dot display. So first time when it will call the things, it is 0, so all the things will be initialized in 0 indexing, and again when it will go, then it will be 1, and again then 2, so we will get the 3 indexing. Let's see. So here enter your name. So using keyboard we are entering it, and roll number, and now it is displayed. Now again second name, roll number, roll number. So this is how first the input function is called, then the display is executed. Again the input function is called, then the display is executed. So this has been repeated 3 times, and this is the output. Now let's see what if we would have written here something. Now we will call input function and display function separately. Okay, so for that, because input function is in private, we cannot call using object, so we will make it private to public. So we have erased private, and in top it is written public, so under this all the things will come under public. And input function is defined inside the class, and display function is defined outside the class. So now because we are calling input separately, so we are removing it from here, and now we will call. Question for you, first input will be called or display? So input will be called, because first we need details, then only we can display it. So first we will call input function, stu dot input function. Now according to this, inside loop only we have kept both the functions. So according to this, what will happen? First input is called, then again display is called. But now we want first input, all the 3 times we want input to be called, and after that we want to call display. So we will close the for loop here, okay, and we will use one more for loop for display, or instead of using for loop, one more option is there to write it one by one. Indexing is from 0. So this is, if you will not use loop, then you can directly call like this, 0, then next one is 1 dot display, and the last one stu index 2 dot display. So because we have kept the array size 3, so we have used 3 times display. Okay, so this is our program. Let's see the output. So according to the program, first all the entries and then finally the display thing. Let's do it. Seema, roll number 1, Rita, roll number 2, and Babita, roll number 3. Okay, so you can see we have first done all the entries, because first in loop 3 times input was called. Now after that display was called one by one, so 3 times. So first entries was in indexing 0, that is Seema n1. So first Seema n1 will be called, because we have written stu 0 first. Okay, so see, this is the output. So now if we will call things randomly, if we would have written it first stu1 and then after that stu0 in display part, then what would have come first? For stu1, Rita would have been displayed first, and then Seema, like that. So it depends how you call things. Okay, so this is our program output. So these are the output screens shared by you, and the question was to share your healthy habits. So nice to know that you are following nice habits and improve and work on more. Great, good job. Lab work program. Write a program using array of class object. So you will be using array within the class also, and with the object also, and you have to take class name as employee and the data members name, age and designation. This is for employee, and member function 2. One for input the details of for employee, and next one will be display function to display the details of for employee. So for example, now we have done it for name and roll number of 3, but now you have to take name, age and designation of 4 employees. You have to input and display it same way we have done now, using that pattern only. Class object, you have to use array, and you will do this program. So I know you are trying and doing good. So try this program also, and try to work on these programs fast so that we can move to the topics. As you will go fast, we can also move fast. Okay, so all the best. God bless you all.